గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ అండి. మనం ఈరోజు వీడియోలో 1948 యూనివర్సల్ డిక్లరేషన్ ఆఫ్ హ్యూమన్ రైట్స్లోని ఆర్టికల్ నెంబర్ 7 గురించి చెప్పుకుందాం. అసలు వాట్ ఈస్ దిస్ ఆర్టికల్, హౌ 1948 యూనివర్సల్ డిక్లరేషన్ ఆఫ్ హ్యూమన్ రైట్స్ డిఫైన్ దిస్ ఆర్టికల్ నెంబర్ 7. Article number 7 says we are all equal before the law. That is the article number 7 of the 1948 Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So, are we really equal before the law? In a country like India, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Japan, wherever caste society has been existed for a long time. So are we really equal? Then who are human beings or who are subhumans? What is the status of untouchables even in front of the law in a country like India, where I came from? Are we really equal before the law in India? That is the question. In civil society, we are subhumans because we are untouchables, we are unseeables, unapproachables, unspeakables, unshoutables. We are not allowed to walk in the streets of Hindus. We are not allowed to walk in the streets of Sikhs. We are not allowed to walk in the streets of Buddhists. We are not allowed to walk in the streets of Jainas, Parsis, Muslims, and of course Roman Catholics. So that is our status, our subhuman status in Indian civil society. There is no difference between a Hindu, Sikh, Parsi, Jain, Muslim, or a Roman Catholic Christian who is treating us worse than slaves, worse than shit, human excreta, worse than thing. So that is our status in India. A 50-year boy, a 50-year Hindu boy can thrash us. A 5 years a Brahmin boy can eliminate a 70 years old untouchable man or woman. 10 years old boy, a Hindu boy or a Muslim boy or a Brahmin boy, a Raju boy, a boy from Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra communities can rape a 60 years old woman, 60 years old untouchable woman in India. There are tens of thousands of incidents where children are killers of untouchables, where children are rapists of untouchables. So in this context, this is the existing reality of Indian society. So what is our status? So who are equal before the law in India or Nepal? Brahmins are more than, they are beyond the law. Their foot soldiers, Rajus or Rajputs or Kshatriyas, they are beyond the law. Their foot soldiers, Vaishyas or Komatas or Guptas, are beyond the law. Their foot soldiers, Shudras, are also called farmers of India Raitus or peasants of India like Reddy, Kamma, Kapu, Velama, Yadav, Gowda are beyond the law. They are beyond the law in killing, massacring, genociding, raping, violating untouchables of India. So when there is a massacre against untouchables, there is no law. Basically, India is a lawless society. There is no law. It is a lawlessness in the matters of untouchables. So it's very chaotic society, chaotic, very social chaos. You can see social chaos against untouchables. India is filled with totalitarian ideologies since millions of years, for a long time. So are we really equal before the law? That is a question. Even though an untouchable who is a president of India, who is a chief minister of Indian regional state, or a bureaucrat, or a scholar, a theorist, or an intellectual philosopher, or even who is a multimillionaire, so-called. I mean, I haven't come across any multimillionaire among untouchable communities, but I'm hoping that there will be one or two, because most of these Dalit politicians or untouchable politicians from Dalit caste background are corrupt, just like bureaucrats. So they might have amassed some wealth illegally through illegal connections. So they might have some multi-millions of property, but very rarely. Otherwise, we have Hindu media, where Hindu media or Islamic media, Sikh, Jain or other media, they will not sit silently. They will be projecting untouchables, as most corrupted. That is their duty. Even BBC, CNN, they won't sit silently. They project untouchables as most corrupted. Even if there is a FUT also, even if there is a FUT, they'll make it like international FUT. So we cannot hide their multi-millions of property in case if there is any untouchable with this kind of background. So I know, as an Indian untouchable from South India, I born in Andhra Pradesh. I raised, grown, and I attended schools in India, in various parts of India. I attended school in Andhra Pradesh, Pondicherry, Madhya Pradesh, Bangalore, New Delhi. I visited many places in India. I lived and visited many places, many parts of India, from Andhra Pradesh to, from South India to North India, North India to Central India, Central India to Northeast India. I visited. Everywhere is the same status. What is my status in India is untouchable. I have been an untouchable. My father was an untouchable. His parents were untouchables. Their parents were untouchables. Their forefathers were untouchables. We are all untouchables. See, there is no change in my status. I went to Brazil. I went to Australia. I went to Africa. I went to Czech Republic. I went to Belgium. I'm in Germany. I'm untouchable. Wherever I go, I'm untouchable. Because Westerners or Africans believe that the caste system of Indian society or Nepal or Japan is a God's gift. So people who born untouchables should remain untouchables, slaves, and they should walk like a carrion. They should walk like a carcass. They should walk like a corpse, and they should not have any equality with the Hindus. Hindus means you know that Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. They are called Hindus in India. They are also Buddhists in other form. They are also Muslims in other form. They are also Sikhs. They are also Jainas. They are also Parsis. So wherever you born in any religion, you are untouchable. You are untouchable forever. You are born as an untouchable. You remain untouchable. You born with untouchable caste background. You die with untouchable caste background. Nowhere you enjoy human status in India. Nowhere you enjoy human status in Nepal. Nowhere you enjoy human status in Japan. Nowhere you enjoy human status in the United States of America or in United Kingdom or Australia, New Zealand, Europe, anywhere. We are untouchables. Untouchables are untouchables forever. Nobody is ready to change our status because they enjoy, by seeing slaves and their status. Just like 400 years ago, they enjoyed by seeing blacks and their status in the United States of America or UK. So what United Nations says is theoretical is different from its practical way of life. If you look at any United Nation and its conventions and treaties or international laws against crimes against humanity, are nowhere taking any action against castes, genocides, races, massacres. In Indian society, caste-based society is a genocidal society where untouchables are victims. We have been victims of Hindus for millions of years. Nobody takes seriously. We have been dehumanized, persecuted, humiliated for a long time in the history of oppression, but nobody takes seriously. Why? Because the so-called progressive ideologues or United Nations community or Amnesty, including Amnesty, Human Rights Watch, are all under the hands of hegemonic ideologies, but in a different form. They have a mosque. The mosque is human rights. The same human rights mosque, if there is a position in any far right ideologies, immediately they will jump. These all human rights mosque or human rights communities are basically born in the conservative communities. If you look at their background, they are all conservatives, they are all castes, racists, untouchability practitioners. They migrate to they migrate to Cambridge University, Oxford University, then Sydney University. They migrate to various Western universities, and where they obtain a master's degree or PhDs in human rights or peace studies with full-fledged scholarship. They complete their degrees, and immediately United Nations recruit them. They recruit only Brahmins. Even if you are a untouchable, if you have PhD from Oxford University, Cambridge University, nobody will recruit you because they know your background. They know who is Brahmin, who is Rajput, who is Gupta, who is Shudra, who is untouchable. So your surname is enough. Your ideology is enough. Your social background is enough to eliminate you at the interview itself. I mean, at the application itself. So uh, nobody is ready to take you in. Anywhere in the Western societies, untouchables are always eliminated. Actually, global human rights bodies are filled with totalitarian ideologies. You cannot find any person or employee or so-called intellectual or philosopher or professor or human rights community with a strong supporter of anti-caste movements. When I went to study masters in human rights from Sydney University, I'm terrified there. I was shocked because every Jewish teacher worships Hindu gods and goddesses. They are worshipping Hindu idol Ganesha or the Shiva in the name of South Asian culture. They are respecting Krishna, Rama, Vishnu by keeping their portraits. One can see Hindu gods and goddesses and their portraits in the rooms of Jewish teachers. You can see Hindutva cultural related things that represent Hindu. I mean, you can see many symbols of Hindu ideology or Hindu culture tradition in the rooms of Hindu Jewish teachers. When I asked them, why are you keeping Ganesha photo in your room? They say, oh, this is a South Asian culture. So, South Asian culture is uh, respected in the name of, I mean, these South Asian Hindu gods, goddesses, Buddhist gods and goddesses, Jainas, Sikhs, all these persecuted communities and their ideologies are respected in the name of religion, culture. They also keep Aryan symbols because you cannot see Krishna without Aryan symbol. You cannot see Ram without Aryan symbol. You cannot see Vinayaka or the monkey god without Aryan symbol, elephant god. So every Hindu god goddesses are the agents of Aryan symbols, purity, impurities. Even though they have scary look, but they respect them. So when they come to classroom, their facial expressions, body language, their way of treating students is entirely different. If you're a Brahmin boy or Brahmin girl, they treat you well. They treat you with high respect, cheering, with smiling face, cheering, and they invite you to their rooms, to their houses, and they ask you cultural things. They glorify caste system, untouchability. Openly they glorify. They glorify Gandhi. They glorify yoga. They glorify every inhuman ideology in the classroom. And Muslims. My class is filled with Muslims. There are like 21 or 22 Muslims out of many Muslims out of I think I don't know 30 students, Hindus, Buddhists. There are some whites. They're all agents of totalitarian ideologies, but in the name of human rights. So practically, nobody talks about human rights. Practically, nobody talks about core ideologies. For example, when you talk about Indian society, they don't talk about caste untouchability. They don't talk about Hindu religion, how it is generated, the rampant casteism, untouchability, racism, genocide, genocidal persecution. They talk about peripheries, like they talk about Narendra Modi, as if Narendra Modi started this persecution against untouchables. they very cleverly, they talk about national movement, how they fought against colonial masters, very peripheral things. They don't talk about core issues. They talk about asylum, refugees. When they talk about, uh, nobody dare to talk about Islamic and evil ideology or Muslims. Nobody dare to talk about, because they are the terrorists. They terrorize everyone in the name of hate crime. Islam is an evil ideology. It's an evil spirit, and Muslim is its practitioner. But they come to human rights degrees with full-fledged scholarships with burqa. Even you cannot see any Muslim woman, Muslim student face. They wear full-fledged, full. They cover their bodies. You cannot even see their eyes. But they glorify that burqa culture, and they glorify every evil ideology in the name of human rights, democratization, democracy. Nobody talks the reality. Nobody talks about how Quran or Sharia is an inhuman ideology. Nobody talks. They glorify. In fact, they glorify. They glorify Bhagavad Gita. They glorify Quran. They glorify Islam. They glorify Buddhism. They glorify Jainism. They glorify Sikh. They glorify. They glorify every inhuman ideology. They glorify every inhuman ideology. They only punish marginalized sections. I was the only marginal section in my class. I was untouchable. I used to fight. I used to argue. Nobody is happy. Everyone is unhappy. Because directly I am questioning their totalitarian ideologies, how they are running human rights departments, how they are encouraging, how they are propagating genocidal ideology as a democratic ideology, as a as a peaceful, as a non-violent ideology. They glorify every ideology, every dominant ideology in the classroom, because students, teachers, they belong to dominant castes, races, ideologies. Totally, they are all totalitarians. Imagine if human rights department is working in this way in the Western countries. Imagine the status of conservative departments. They won't even take untouchables. That's why you cannot find any untouchable in Western countries. 100% students belong to hegemonic castes, dominant forces. You cannot see any untouchable. I'm sure you cannot even see 1 in 1 million or 1 in 100 million. And among the teachers, nobody recruits untouchable caste background teacher. Everyone is a Brahmin or Rajput or Gupta or Shodra. You can see, that's why you can see tens of thousands of these categories working in Western countries. You cannot find any untouchable because they need them. They see these Eastern philosophies or ideologies as equal to Western ideologies. But racism is a different form. It's not like casteism. Casteism, you have open persecution, open genocide against untouchables. Racism is a different. In the racist society, in the Western societies, you have a space, you have a room for democracy, you have room for voice, you have room for like-minded ideologies, you have room for discussion, debate, dialogue. But in the Eastern societies, there is no room for discussion, debate, dialogue, only room for persecution, elimination. You can see every moment, there is no day passing without without gang raping an untouchable caste women or children, female children. There is no part of India where you can say untouchables are safe. Everywhere they are untouchables. Everywhere They face open discrimination, open persecution. Caste itself is a genocide. The caste system itself is a genocide. How Hindus are treating untouchables in India. So you can see marriages between Westerners and Indian hegemonic communities. They are not really intellectuals in Western societies. These from Indian background. You can see there are many Indian professors, so-called intellectuals, theorists, philosophers. They marry their caste background partners, or if they marry any Westerners, they marry white girls or white men. But they talk about Dalit movements. They write about Ambedkar, they write about Dalit movements, they write about caste system. They glorify, there also they glorify, side by side. They glorify Hinduism. On the other side, for the lip sake, they say Dalits are being persecuted, being oppressed. But what is their everyday life? What is the everyday life of John Rawls, the true philosopher? He literally preached the justice system. He literally fight against racism. Literally, he married a typical African woman. For 40 years, he had 4 children. You don't find any intellectual or philosopher among even white communities. They don't marry blacks, or they don't marry untouchables. They marry Hindus or mostly Brahmins. They marry Brahmins because they see Brahmins as equal with them. So we need practitioners. We need practitioners like John Rawls. We don't need people who capitalize our caste or our community. Indian teachers who are working with Cambridge University, Oxford University, Columbia University, they cash our caste. They cash our ideology. They are called, that's why we call them social parasites. These parasites, they move to any part of the world, they move to any ideology. Today, if they are so-called leftist, tomorrow you will be rightist. Next day you will be centrist. Next day you will be far rightist. It's all, it's all opportunity. Because basically they are socially corrupted. That's why they don't have one ideology. They don't have commitment. They don't stick to particular ideology. They just jump. But they never jump to Dalit ideology or untouchable ideology. They never jump to. Namesake, they talk about casteism, but they practice casteism. I never come across any Hindu or Sikh or Punjabi. Sikh we call Sikh. Hindu, Sikh, Muslim, Buddhist, Jain or Parsi with egalitarian philosophy or who married untouchables. Even I have come across few incidents where conservatives married untouchables. Just like my mother married my father. My mother, she born in a conservative community. It's called Yadav, Puju Golalu or Yadav caste. They're very conservative. They're very totalitarian ideologues. She married my untouchable father. He is a Chamar or Madiga, Christian. She married my father because she is a Christian. She is not a Hindu, Yadav. So Christianity or a Christian religion created some space where there is a room for liberal ideology or humanity or anti-caste philosophy, unlike other religions. So if you look at marriages between, but that marriage is not a materially motivated marriage. There are materially motivated marriages in India between untouchables, between bureaucrats belong to untouchable caste and other girls belong to Brahmin or Shudra castes. Their material motivated them. The motivation is material or their political status, not the social status. If he is a bureaucrat, their daughter can. So they marry some poor Brahmin girl and they say, I married, my wife is a Brahmin. But in my parents' matter, in the matters of my mother, she is a feudal, she is a landlord. But she married a poor guy, poor chap. He doesn't have any status. Socially is untouchable, economically he is a poor guy. But she married him, even though she is a daughter of a feudal lord, a village head. Of course, they want to kill my mother and father in the name of honor. You know, honor killings. India is known for honor killings. So they escape to, they escape to some place and where they were hiding. We don't have any relation with them. I never know my grandparents or their my mother's side. So this is the status of untouchables in India. The same in Nepal, Sri Lanka, in Japan, or in America, or United States of America, United Kingdom, Europe, wherever you go, we are untouchables. Hindus get different respect, different treatment, whereas we get different treatment, different respect. Untouchables are remain untouchables. Even they, I never come across any white girl or boy married an untouchable except to Gail Omed. See, because she is an intellectual, she is a philosopher, she is a sociologist. That's why she has that broad thinking. She went to India from America. She married a black skinned untouchable. She didn't even marry a white skinned or brown skinned untouchable. Most of untouchables are brown skin. Black skin is very rare among them. So, except Gail Omed, but Gail Omed is a force. She is a powerful force in the world. You see, if there is a true intellectual or philosopher, they marry, but she is the only intellectual who married untouchable. And others, they are away from untouchables. So-called intellectuals, scholars, theories, they never marry untouchable. They talk about untouchables. They write about untouchables. They documented stories about untouchables, but they never marry. But they never marry untouchables. So as long as you never marry untouchable, you never have an untouchable as partner, you are a casteist, racist, you are untouchability practitioner. No matter whether you are from Cambridge University, Oxford University, Columbia University, Stanford University, Harvard University, or London School of Economics, or from other uh, uh, premier universities or academic institutions. They carry corruption, they carry social corruption, they carry persecuted ideology. When they see an untouchable, Brahmin wakes up. Brahmin wakes up in the sense of purity, impurities. When they see an untouchable, or when they see a Dalit, when they see a scheduled caste person, Manu wakes up, Shiva wakes up, Vishnu wakes up, Krishna wakes up, Vinayaka wakes up, Swastika wakes up, purity, impurities wakes up, violence wakes up, lynching wakes up, rape wakes up, persecution wakes up. Wherever you go, wherever these Hindu communities migrate, there is a rampant casteism, racism, untouchability against untouchable castes. This is the status of untouchables. So Are we really equal before the law? We are not equal. We are subhumans. We are walking carrions. We are walking carcasses. We are walking corpse. My second baby has died in Germany. His name is Stanford. We don't know the reason. He's so healthy boy. But he died suddenly. We escaped that barbarian or uncivilized Indian society by thinking that Germany is civilized, progressive. But my son died here. I don't know. I'm still waiting for the reason. So it's very difficult for a marginalized section to survive in the caste or race-based societies. I don't know. I don't know. See, I've been observing gypsies, Romas, and their status in Europe. First, they are not even getting human treatment. They are not treated as humans. They branded them as criminals. They are not criminals. They are so good people, gypsies. Gypsies are so good people. Romas. Gypsies are Romas. They are so good people. They smile at you, they cheer. They are very friendly. They are not even violators. They are not violent community like Muslims. Muslims are so violent in Europe or in Western countries. They are so violent. Openly they violate laws and regulations. They openly sexually harass women. They are violent community. They are gangs. They are mobs. But gypsies are so good community. They are so good. They have a good family system. You can see gypsies. They have a strong family system. They have very good attachment with their family, unlike Muslims and blacks. But they branded them as criminals, thieves. I never seen any gypsy stealing someone's thing. They don't even touch anyone's uh, property. I've been observing Muslims and blacks here in Europe. They openly steal. They openly uh, harass. They openly break the law. They openly do crimes. They openly do violence. They are beyond law. They are lawlessness communities. But gypsies, we are gypsies in India. We are so democrat. We are so democratic. We are so egalitarian. We are very peaceful, non-violent. I have never come across any incident where untouchables are criminals, where untouchables are perpetrators, where untouchables are killers. I never come across. Untouchables are always victims in any instant. We are the victims of Indian society. We are the victims of Indian state. We are victims of the Indian judiciary. We are the victims of every ideology in India. So, yes, 1948 Universal Declaration says, Article number 7, we are all equal before the law. Are we really equal before the law in India? You see the massacres. What happened to mother and daughter and children in Kairlanji in Maharashtra? What happened to them? Openly, entire village raped them, dismembered their bodies, killed them, lynched them publicly by a Hindu village. And there is no, Dalits cannot breathe in India. They cannot breathe in Nepal. They cannot breathe in Japan. They cannot breathe in Western societies. because they have not created any space for them. They have not created any condition where untouchables can claim human status. So in this situation, how law can protect untouchables? How law can, legal bodies or judiciary can give human status to untouchables? Or can untouchables obtain human status in India? There is no village, there is no city, there is no town, there is no metropolitan city, there is no space in India from across time and space where you can say Dalits are safe or Dalits are treated as, Dalits are getting human treatment. There is no space in India to say Dalits are equal in this space. Dalits are humans in this space. We are not equal with anyone in India. Leave the country. Fight for separate nation. Fight for your own nation where you can obtain human status. Fight for a separate nation. We cannot live with Hindus. We cannot live with Sikhs. We cannot live with Muslims. We cannot live with Jains. We cannot live with Parsis. Fight for a separate nation, just like Jewish community fight for their own country. They lost their lives, but today they have a land, they have a place. Imagine their status in Europe or Western countries. The only difference is they are intellectual community. We are not intellectual community, but still we like knowledge. We have a symbols to grown up in knowledge production. We have Ambedkar, who is a social theorist. We have Gopal Guru. So we have two iconic symbols to carry their spirit of knowledge. Don't even treat them like a heroes. No, you break that hero worship, hero culture. Break that hero worshipping culture. Don't worship anyone as a hero. Just like Jewish community. Jewish community never worship anyone as a hero. Think, read, write. Think, read and write. Let us produce tens of thousands of intellectuals like Jewish community. Don't focus on political thing. Politicians or activists are always corrupt. I've been watching people who are doing corruption in the name of Ambedkar. They are corrupted people. They born for material purpose. So they carry out their, they sell your ideology, they sell your movements, they sell your democratic movements for various benefits, personal, professional, political benefits. So don't follow them. Fight for separate nation. Fight for untouchable nation, where you will obtain, where you can obtain human status. You have to know what is human status, what is not human status. You don't get human treatment in India. You don't have human status in India. So why should we live with Hindus? Why should we live in a separate place, separate ghetto? Why should we live as an untouchable? We have to born with human status. We have to die with human status. We have to enjoy that human status. Wherever you go in India, we are untouchables. Wherever you go in, not only India, what is our status among Indian diaspora in America, in Europe, Canada, New Zealand, Australia? We are untouchables. So let us fight for separate nation where we can obtain human status. Thank you.